Hello and welcome to the Coaster Giant channel. My name's Matt. Today I'm at the Drayton Manor Resort with my sister Hayley.
Hi.
It's been a while since Hayley's been in a vlog. So exciting evening today. We have been invited down by the Drayton Manor team, so thank you very much for the invite, to an exclusive preview event to get a ride on the Wave before it opens to the public tomorrow. So the Wave is a rethemed coaster here at the park. It was formerly Shockwave with stand-up trains, and it's been rethemed, renamed, and has new trains where you basically sit down instead of standing up, which means that people that are 1.2 and above can ride, which lowers the height limit from 1.4. So more people can experience it. And the reason I wanted Hayley to come along to the event with me, because when we were kids, I'm still terrified of heights, but I was really terrified of heights. And next to Shockwave, when it opened, there was a little pinfari looping coaster called the Python. And I used to go on that, but I used to be really scared. It was a bone shaker. All pinfaris are. But yeah, I was always really scared on that, on the top section, because of the height and the first drop, which made me scared to do Shockwave, because Shockwave looked massive in comparison. So even though I was 1.4 and above quite early on, Hayley wasn't, because she was my little sister. And and I was petrified to go on. So basically the thing that forced me on was when Hayley turned 1.4, she wanted to go on it, so then I was pressured in to go in on it. And our mum and dad took us on. They stood on the outside, we got a front row. I remember my legs being absolute jelly walking up the steps to the station, and the absolute panic inside going up that massive lift hill that you can just see over there. Yeah, absolutely terrifying. But that ride on Shockwave at the time was the ride that turned me into a roller coaster lover and enthusiast. It's all down to that roller coaster, so it's really cool. It's all down to Hayley and that coaster. So it's really cool to come back and experience the rethemed Shockwave, now called the Wave, and get some exclusive ride time on it. So let's get into the park and see what's going on. So here we go, we're in the park. We've got our little
I've made it, Mom.
Media passes. It's just going round, it's just going round. Oh, it still sounds cool. The lift hill sounded a bit different. It was clicking a bit different to the old coaster, but the sound on this is really good. Right, so today we've got refreshments in Chicken Diner. We've got a little talk with Victoria, the park's managing director, and then we've got an hour to ride it as much as we want to. So really excited to see how it feels. Personally, I love the coaster. Yeah, it's quite a short layout, but it's tall. It's got 4 inversions. It's got a massive vertical loop, a really fast 0G roll, and 2 corkscrews. And just the brake run alone is an exciting element. It's the one that stops the ride dead, but makes everyone laugh as well. So excited to see how this feels. It's sit down, you get a lap bar, so your whole upper body is completely free to move with the movement of the train. It's going to feel totally different. So I'll give my honest opinions, as will Hayley. Obviously I'll be giving opinions as a roller coaster enthusiast and a fan of the coaster, whereas Hayley's just as a pedestrian. She loves the theme park, she loves a roller coaster. So you'll be able to give your honest opinions as well. Right, let's get into this event, get some nice shots of the new coaster for you, and let you know how it rides. So we just had a little talk in the Chicken Diner. We've got a DJ going on, and currently there's a little staff preview going on. So the coaster's been going around with all the staff members from the park. We've got the new entrance portal and the very impressive new head chopper billboard out here, plus loads of other signage on the entrance to the queue. So we'll have a closer look at that when we start to work our way up to the ride station in a little while. There will be spoilers in this video. Just to warn you, we'll show you everything in the queue line, the new trains, and everything that's going on in the station. So I've just moved away from the DJ where it's a little bit quieter, because it might be interfering the microphone a bit, but it's a nice vibe around there with all the music playing. The coaster itself fits in really well to Adventure Cove, and we'll talk a bit more about that later on. So we've just had a little talk with Victoria, the park's managing director. It was really good to hear her talking about Shockwave. So she talked about how it's an iconic ride from 1994, which was obviously the year of the roller coaster at the time, same year that Nemesis and the big one opened at Blackpool too. And she was quite honest, like the old stand-up train had come to the end of its life and they had to evaluate what they wanted to do with this ride. They class it as being iconic from 1994 and wanted to keep the track and as much of the original as possible, which is like really good for me. I loved hearing that. That's really good to know that they love all their old rides and they want to keep them and maintain them. It obviously needed a new train, and they went for a sit-down train. They worked with art engineering. Being a sit-down train means it's got a lower height restriction, so younger people can ride it, which just means it's going to have an even bigger ridership than Shockwave did before. And I can hear behind me it's coming out of the station. This is the first time that I have seen it operating in real life, and the first time ever with people on it. So this is the staff preview. Here it goes up the lift hill, making the lovely clicking noise. And let's see how it looks and how fast it goes around this massive vertical loop. This lift hill is 120 foot high, which is probably one of the tallest family thrill coasters in the country, I reckon. It's certainly an intimidating lift hill, especially for younger people. That's such a good sight to see people on the ride screaming as it goes around. It's good to see that the reimagined Shockwave is awake again and living. Right, it's nearly our time to get on. We've got a whole hour from 6 till 7 to ride this. So yeah, let's go and get on this. Let's check out the queue line, let's check out the new trains, and then we'll let you know how it rides. Okay, here we go. We've had the okay to go on. So we're going under the new entrance portal next to the new head chopper. And it's looking really fresh around here. Obviously the station was all painted up on the outside a few years ago when Adventure Cove was rethemed. We've got some surfboards with a sandy beach out in front of it. And a new little entrance sign. Let's look at the height restriction. So it's now 1.2, as I've said a million times. Guests under 1.32 must be accompanied by a responsible person aged 16 or over. So yeah, it's time to brave the wave. Let's check out what theming we can see in the queue line. So straight away we've still got front row queuing available. We've got all the information boards, and we've got some really cool looking posters. This has all been painted up as well. Oh, look at this. So it's all been painted, all this yellow's been added. There's loads of new signs. I love these signs. Got surfboards. So I want to get as many rides in as possible today, but I can't wait to be reading all these rides throughout the year, working out what they are. They're so colourful and fun. This is really a nice update to the station. There's some nice audio playing as well. Hang 10 with the wave. This is looking good. There's posters everywhere. That's a nice sign. It's going to be so weird seeing a different train in this station. I've been coming here since I was a kid. I remember this ride being built. I remember seeing it for the first time as a stand-up coaster. And here we go. We're going to do front row. Here we are in the station. All of this has been reclad. New signs, surfboards up here. Okay, we're in the front row queue. So weird seeing little trains. Look how little they look compared to the stand-up ones. But really cool how they've all been, how everything's been refitted. It's the same track. Looks like all the same brake run and everything. just the brand new trains. Here we go, our first ride's going to be on the front. The station's been remodelled, it's all been reclad on the floor. I think we've got new air gates. There's also little gates that open at the end and close when the coaster comes back in. And the only thing you can see that's a little bit different is the mechanism on the centre of the track down here for, I'm guessing that's where the train comes into contact with that, and that's what releases the restraints and stuff. But apart from that, everything looks original. So in the station they've also changed the baggage system, so it's not that big horrible lock-up thing anymore. It's just shelves that you put your bags on, which creates a bit more room on the other side of the train. You just get really quite jammed and quite chaotic, so it's good to see that changed. Okay, it hasn't disappointed. We had our first ride on the front row, exactly the same as we did when we were kids on the original Shockwave. Yeah, it didn't disappoint. I'm going to do it a few more times in different seats, but it felt faster than I expected. It was so comfortable and so smooth. That's my first takeaway from this. I couldn't believe how smooth it was. Yeah, I'm kind of in shock to how much I actually enjoyed that. And I think as well, this is a new coaster. It's the first time it's being run with people in it. So if it's doing that kind of speed now, when this coaster was worn in a bit, when it's warmed up in a couple of months' time, at the end of the day in the summer when it's been really hot all day, that's going to fly. The loop was impressive. The 0G roll, I felt like it was throwing me out of the train, which is exactly what I wanted. Like, my whole body was out of the seat. First reactions from you?
It was really good. Really smooth. I felt like I was folded in half at one point. I think it was when we came out.
It was out of the loop, yeah.
Straight down, but no, really good ride, and I'd say it's probably better than the original.
It's definitely more comfortable and more fun than the original. The original was iconic, but we're in a new era. So that's it, that's the end of the event. We got 3 rides in, we got a front row for our first one, and then we got one on row 3 and one on row 2. So let's dissect this really quickly. First of all, what's your thoughts?
I loved it. It was really smooth. I love the new restraints, really comfortable seats. It felt like I folded in half when I came out the loop, and that first twist or barrel roll, whatever you want to call it, it really whips you around really quick. Really good, really thrilling, and I would like to see children's faces when they get off it.
It's a scary, intense ride for kids. So I wasn't brave enough when I was that little, so massive respect to anyone.
The front is so weird because there's
so
you've
exposed.
just got a bar in front of you, and it's like they've almost forgotten to finish the train, but it's really good and it really adds to
it. Just leaves it really
everything.
Open, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So compared to Shockwave, the Wave versus Shockwave, what are you saying?
The Wave.
So it's a thumbs up from Hayley, who just generically likes coasters but isn't a massive enthusiast. From me, let's go from the start. So love the new entrance portal and what they've done to the station. They haven't gone crazy in there. It's had a nice repaint. It looks really fresh. There's loads of posters. Love the surfing theme. It's just that extension of Adventure Cove. It's really colourful, it's bright, it's fun, the music's all really good in there, the audio's great. I love all the station stuff. I like the fact there's more room up there now that the baggage has changed. They've got new air gates. The bit where you actually get onto the train and get off the train has been raised as well, so that's obviously to do with the height of the train. But apart from that, you don't notice a lot of difference to the track or anything like that. The train itself, I'm a bit disappointed there isn't a nose car. When I first saw the yellow bar that wraps around the front, it reminded me very much of the original Shockwave trains because the colours are very similar, and they also had a bar as well. And that bar's just there to stop you leaning or falling forward, I guess, from the station, even though the restraints would do that for you. But yeah, like Hayley said, when you're on it, it might look a bit odd off-ride and like it's missing a nose car, but it makes the front row so exposed. You're literally there. It's almost a little bit like the sensation of a floorless coaster, where you're just there and there's nothing in front of you. So yeah, I like the trains. The seats like fold right the way around you. The restraints are massive, like they cover the whole of my lap, and I've got big legs. Yeah, and they come down and they sit very much like a clamshell, really comfortable on your legs, not on your stomach or anything awkward like that, just on your legs. So yeah, really comfortable restraints. They did push them down quite tight, so it could be challenging for some people if you've got bigger thighs, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Very comfortable. And then yeah, so the ride experience itself, I can't believe how smooth it is. So we had 3 different rows. We didn't try the back row, but you used to feel a bit of a pothole at the bottom of the loop as you come into it with the old trains. You still kind of hear it, but you don't feel it. And then the rest is just glass smooth. It's literally like you're surfing across like water. It's so smooth. The loop, you get some nice hang time on. And then when you go through the 0G roll, which was always my favourite bit on the stand-up trains, if you just like you're leaning forward a little bit after the loop anyway, because of the forces that are on you. And when you go through that, it really whips you over. So you still get that whip. Then you get the nice smooth straight bit with the added feature of the head chopper billboard, and then you get the double corkscrew at the end, which again, it was taking quite fast, but you still got some nice air time. It threw you around in the seat in a good way. So yeah, a family thrill coaster marketed as the best family thrill coaster in the UK. I totally agree with that. There's no other coasters with the 120 foot tall, 4 inversions, only a lap bar. This is still a thrill coaster, but kids at 1.2 can now go on it, so it can only mean good things. Yes, I miss the stand-up trains. They're iconic. It was my first big coaster. It's the coaster that got me into loving roller coasters and theme parks. But the fact that they've kept the track and just reinvented it for 2024 and for the next generation of thrill seekers is something that I love and really respect the park for doing. The rollback system on the lift hill is quite noisy. Well, let's have a look. They're just sending an empty train around. And you can hear how smooth it is. Still got a nice roar. Love it. So that's it for this little video. It's been so cool to be here on the closing day of Shockwave and now to be here to experience the wave the day before it opens to the general public. It opens tomorrow, which is Friday the 25th, I believe. And then obviously it's open for the rest of the season. There's only 1 train, but it's 4 people per row. There's 7 rows, so it'll eat through any queues that it gets. And I definitely recommend coming to check it out. Absolutely loved it. Thanks again to the park for inviting us down. Thank you to you for watching us, and hope you enjoyed it. If you have, give it a like, and if you want to see a little bit more about another brand new roller coaster coming to Drayton Manor very soon, as in this year soon, then subscribe to the channel and you'll see all of the construction updates I do from over in that area of the park. Right, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
See ya!